Rappers are reacting to Young Thug's Rico trial in a very good way. Thug's lawyer is doing such an amazing job, and it's going to result in the rapper's release. And it's all thanks to rappers giving Young Thug's lawyer their blessings to bring up their rap names and music inside of the courtroom. In doing so, it's going to, in the end, help Young Thug get released from jail, as Thug's lawyer Brian Steele would go down a line shouting out rappers and their songs that replace the letter C with the letter B.
Post Malone, do you know who Post Malone is?
I know who he is.
Have you heard him do that?
I have not.
Okay. Meek Mill, you know who that artist is?
I do.
Have you know that?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with the song Jumped Out the Face by Meek Mill?
I'm not.
And Post Malone, you are familiar with the song?
No.
Are you familiar with Juice WRLD?
I know who he is.
Are you familiar with, instead of cooling, booling, B-O-O-L-I-N? Are you familiar with that song?
I'm not.
Okay. Trippie Redd, you know who that is?
I know of him.
And do you know the song Bust Down, again, booling rather than cooling? YWN Melly, you know that rapper?
I do.
The song Till the End?
I don't.
Future, you know who that is?
I do.
Absolutely going brazy, you know that?
As a majority of the evidence that the prosecutors have against Young Thug is that he's in a street team that is the color red. So they're not allowed to use the letter C, so they replace it with the letter B in all of his music. And with Thug's lawyer basically canceling out all evidence the prosecutors had, showing the jury that Thug is not the only rapper that does this, it is a very good look for him inside a court, as Young Thug's lawyer is going to be the reason that he'll be released. As today, Brian Steele cross-examined the Special Forces street team investigator. He has been following Young Thug and YSL for over a decade now, investigating all of Thug's music for over the last 10 years, as well as what he posts on social media. However, Young Thug's lawyer noticed he doesn't do any research at all, and he would go on to expose him in front of everyone.
Okay.
Now, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, you went through that entire Tumblr account to educate yourself for your testimony for the jurors. Am I correct?
No, sir. This is the only post from this Tumblr account that I've reviewed.
You didn't look at all of Mr. Williams' Tumblr account?
No, sir.
How did you know to review this one picture?
Well, when the state asked me to review these particular tweets, this is one that was linked within one of the tweets I was asked to review, and I was asked to review this post from that link.
You weren't curious to know what else is on that Tumblr account?
I was not, no.
Well, since you come back, I'm inviting you to look at it if you want to. But every one of those posts has to do with music. Do you realize that?
Objection and hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
As Young Thug's lawyer was stunned to hear that this investigator barely even did his job. Brian Steele would stand on business and even challenge the investigator to go home, go do more research on Young Thug, and then come back with an answer.
Do you know, as you sit here, what all the other Tumblr posts deal with?
Objection.
Basis.
It would be speculation because he said he has not
I
reviewed.
sustain the objection.
You do me a favor. If you come back, which I'll call you if you need, I want you to review all that Tumblr, okay?
Sure.
Account. And then you tell the jurors everything else that's on that Tumblr account, okay?
Sure.
And tell them if it has anything other than music-oriented promotion, okay?
Well, I would say even this photo has more than just music promotion.
That's great.
As this really seems like a joke and kind of an embarrassment now of the police department, having their main investigator of 10 years not even doing his job of investigating. However, it gets even crazier from here. Young Thug's lawyer would defend, weirdly enough, a YSL snitch named Trontavious Stevens. Trontavious gave the definition of the word slime very recently, and it's a very important part of the court case.
Word slime, what does it mean?
Good question. That's a good question. So, the S is for slum, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
That is the only thing that slime meant to you because you had a tattoo put in your body.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it means to, that's what that tattoo means to me.
Is slime ever used in any other kind of way? As by you or any of the people that
Like breaking it down?
Yeah.
Like breaking it down how I did?
No, like the meaning of the word slime.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But the investigator on the stand said what Trontavia said was a lie, and that is not what the word slime stands for to YSL members. Now, Young Thug's lawyer was ready for this and even played a song inside of the courtroom released 6 years ago, where the lyrics in the song have the exact same definition of slime of what Trontavia said. So Brian Steele would expose him again and then embarrass him in front of everyone, asking if he did even a simple Google search.
Did you hear that, Detective?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, when you gave your testimony yesterday about you've never heard anyone describe slime in the way you just heard on Mr. Williams' number 142, did you ever do a Google search?
No, I did not.
Did you know that question was coming?
No, sir.
You had no idea that the state was going to ask you that question?
No, I thought you meant your question.
No. Yesterday on direct exam, you knew that question was coming, right?
I did. I knew the state was going to ask me what slime meant, yes.
And did you do anything in preparation to say, I want to make sure my testimony is accurate?
I did.
But you never bothered to Google music?
So if you're in need of a job and you want to be an investigator, if you know how to use Google, you're already ahead of this guy. And this is the state's best investigator that they have, as the only evidence the investigator shared was in Young Thug's older music videos, where he would basically self-snitch for being a part of street teams due to hand signs that he would throw up during the video.
Did you see Mr. Williams putting up any identifier signs within that first few seconds of the video?
I did.
And what was he doing?
He was throwing the B's again, the 2 guns, and he also threw a 5-point star.
In that particular portion at 1:30, do you see Mr. Williams throwing up any,
I did.
and what did he throw up?
He threw up the 2 guns again.
Now, why this is important is because of the crimes that Young Thug was allegedly a part of were at the exact same time of all of these older music videos being recorded. So they showcase several music videos from Young Thug throwing up his hand signs, basically confirming he's in a street team. Things would get even crazier as later on the investigator would reveal more evidence of Young Thug being a part of a street team, confirming that there is several videos of Thug self-snitching on social media.
Now, have you had the occasion to view any videos with Mr. Williams in which he either himself self-identifies or associates himself either as a member of Rock Crew and or a member of YSL?
I have.
How many videos have you seen?
I don't know the exact number, but a few.
Okay. For the purposes of this testimony today, have you seen 3 specific videos as it relates to this testimony today?
I have.
As this gives confirmation to the jury that Young Thug is likely a part of a street team and he's about that street life. It is a little concerning as these prosecutors are now trying to do a complete takeover of the Atlanta music scene. But it's also weird because they're targeting other rappers as well, such as Lil Wayne, when the investigator on the stand would be asked about Lil Wayne's affiliation, including his tattoo.
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay. And does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is that?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury if you need to stand with the stick and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.
However, this is when things would turn for Young Thug, where things would get very concerning in the courtroom as none other than the name Gunna was brought up inside of the courtroom. When the famous YSL snitch Trontavia Stevens was asked, is Gunna and Lil Duke a part of the Blue Street team and are they members of YSL?
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you were asked on cross-examination a number of questions about the color blue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Are there that are members of YSL?
Yeah.
Is Gunna
Yeah.
is Duke
Yeah.
is Duke YSL?
Yeah.
Is he a member of Young Slime Life gang?
Yeah.
And what about Gunna? Is he a member of Young Slime Life?
Yeah.
All right. Is Gunna's real name Sergio Kitchens?
Yes.
Is Duke's real name Martinez Arnold?
Yes.
So now at the courtroom, knowing that Gunna is also a part of a street team, it actually affects Young Thug a lot. And let me explain. It all begins when it was reported jurors in the YSL trial just saw these photos of Gunna and Young Thug arrested in 2017 during a traffic stop in Atlanta with several narcotics and cash. Part of the overt acts, prosecutors say it supports the Rico conspiracy charge, as the body cam police footage would show the arrest of Gunna and Young Thug while they're on the ground. This is actually the crime that Gunna snitched on Young Thug in, when Gunna claimed the illegal items found inside of his vehicle were not his. The other man in the back seat also claimed the items weren't his to the police as well. So common sense would point towards Young Thug owning all of these illegal items, as he's the only other person in the car. However, the craziest part is when the prosecutors would then question the arresting officer on that day on the stand.
All right, so he's sitting on the curb. Mr. Jones is sitting on the curb, correct?
Right.
And Mr. Kitchens is also sitting on the curb. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. At some point, you go into the vehicle and you search the car.
Right.
You found Mr. Kitchens, by the way, was driving the car, right?
Right.
However, it would then be Young Thug's lawyer's turn to cross-examine the arresting officer, as he believes that Gunna's vehicle was only pulled over because the officer saw him driving an expensive car.
Come out of, and you said earlier, you pull over folks for window tint all the time, don't you?
Correct.
It wouldn't have had anything whatsoever to do with the fact that you saw three guys in a Maybach, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
I sustain the objection.
Your Honor, the state asked the question yesterday as to whether or not he knew the race of the individuals in the vehicle.
As this really got Lil Baby angry on social media. He's been angry at Gunna for the entire time that he has became a snitch in the YSL case. Even in his newest song titled 350, he states the lyrics, "Ain't never said nothing about it, boy you know you a rat." This would go on to go viral on social media, so viral that Young Thug's father would do an interview recently where he would defend Gunna and then tell Lil Baby to stay quiet.
How do you feel about Lil Baby throwing at Gunna for his plea deal? For his plea?
He need to shut the fuck up, cause he don't know what's going on. You know, he's going off of what he heard. Ask Lil Baby, have he ever came to a court date?
Oh, okay.
See, that's what I want y'all to ask these damn rappers and these bloggers with this whole snitch shit and this. When have y'all went to a court date to support Slime, to support Jeffrey, to support Thug, however you want to name him? Go on their social media pages and say, why in the haven't you been at the courthouse to support your dude? And I guarantee you won't get an answer.